Okay, so I have here an RL Allan company Bible. RL Allan, they produce Bibles in the UK. They're in London presently now. They started out in Glasgow, Scotland, but they have been in London for some time now. And so these are wonderful Bibles. Some people would say these are the epitome of what Bibles should be, better than even Schuyler Bibles, but that's a matter of opinion and debate. I hope to solve that debate in a future video. Stay tuned because I want to compare RL Allan to Schuyler. But this being the classic reference edition in black goatskin with navy blue ribbons, a navy blue liner, which is also leather lined, but the outside is a natural green goatskin, which I can compare to the Highland green goatskin. The Highland goatskin is, I would say, more pronounced, deeper green, whereas this natural green goatskin is more uniform, not as deep, but actually is still absolutely beautiful. If anything, a little bit softer feeling than the Highland, so it really depends on your taste, what you like. This was bound by Ludlow. That's who they're having presently bind this edition. It's an English Standard Version. It has these tooled ribs on the side here, very common for Allan. Rounded spine, very nicely done. The gold gilt on this is really shiny and pretty. And then underneath the gold, you have the red art gilt. So this is a normal size ESV reference Bible. The font is about a 9-point font, and the spacing is excellent. It's not line matched, as others have pointed out, but the paper quality is really good. I would say the RL Allan Bibles that I have, the paper has a crisper feel to them than, say, the Schuyler. Schuyler is more of a smooth feel, but I like that crispness. There's something nice about it. It's more textured, I would say. The cover, though, just to point that out again, is really nicely done. The corners on these Allans are nicely done, which creates that nice fold-over look. Not perimeter stitch, but rather a tooled edge, which, looks really great and is a wonderful style. I would say just a great contrast and complement to other Bibles like Schuyler. I don't think all Bibles need to be the same. I like uniqueness. And another thing about Allans that I've been forgetting to mention is they have notebook paper that they put in the back of their Bibles. So that is a really nice thing about RL Allan Bibles as a little extra feature. Their present reference edition doesn't have any maps. I know their older editions did. This one doesn't. But it still has a concordance. And because it doesn't have maps or any illustrations, it's a little more streamlined probably than their other editions, a little bit more. And I don't use maps a whole lot, so that doesn't bother me. It's a little bit more portable, I would say, than the Reader. But the Reader does have maps and the notebook paper. And let me just see if we can find those maps there. There's one of them there. So you do get maps in the Reader. But again, I don't use those a whole lot. They're not absolutely necessary for me. But this is a more of a thin line, I would say, than the reference Bible here. But it is taller and wider. So that kind of gives you a comparison here. You're really looking at, believe it or not, a fairly significant difference. So this is a little bit more portable, more hand size, which is really nice. So what's the difference between this one and the Reader? I mean, I've shown you the sizes. You don't get as much margin space. The font size is not a whole lot different. Maybe 1 point size smaller. This is 9. That one's considered 10. But this, to me, doesn't really look a whole lot smaller. It may only be a ½ point smaller. But in terms of what's on the inside here, you do have more margin space in the Reader. rather than the reference edition here, which doesn't have a whole lot of margin space. So really, they're complementary to each other. They both have nice things about them. It really depends on the use that you have for them, how much you write in your Bible, how portable you want it to be, and what dimensions you prefer. This is more, when I think of this one, I just think classic. That's the word that comes to my mind. I mentioned this one, I think British because of the color scheme and where it's from. This one I just think classic. The navy blue, you know, with the red and the gold and a black cover. Very classic look to it. So that's a look at the classic reference edition, the ESV1, and a little bit of a comparison with the ESV reader. And hope that helps you as you're looking at different Bibles. And for some people, just to inform you a little bit more about RL Allan Bibles and how good they are. But thank you so much for watching this review from a Frisch perspective.